Hello everyone and welcome back to my video. Okay, we're still under the double zeta series event, so we're gonna continue with a double zeta unit to discuss. And yesterday we already talked about Zaku tree, and today we're gonna talk about the Quin Mantha. Alright, Quin Mantha is, as you can see from design, if you don't really know Double Zeta, it's actually the predecessors of the Kshatriya Gundam. Is it Kshatriya Gundam or just a unit? I don't know, it's just call it Kshatriya, okay? So Quin Mantha is like a very, it does look cool. It does look a mantis in a sense, but it has like a very funnel focus design, and I'm pretty surprised it's actually being made as a tank. So let's get to how good the thing is. First of all, it has a very defense focused build, can be deployed in space and also can be deployed on the ground. So this unit, as you can see, like its attack is pretty low, to be honest. Not that low, but compared to the likes of Zaku tree, it does quite low to be. So it's 6-6, and then the defense, but the defense is pretty good with because it has another 10%, and this is where this thing gets better. Okay, if you remember during some stages in the Eternal Road and stuff, you might actually meet Quin Mantha, and you might wonder like, oh yeah, this thing tanks quite hard. And what the reason, other than of course the PvE buff, one of the reasons of that is that this unit has an eye field that reduces damage taken by 40%. And that's a lot. That's a lot. Okay. I do think it's pretty on par with the high new, the SSR high new, of course. Yeah, and 40% is nothing to be nothing to scoff at. Like really, beam range 40% decrease. That's amazing. Okay, and a lot of weapons in the game is actually beam based. So and then so that wise, it does looks very good in terms of fighting beam. And then we can see its attack. Now we have its attack. It's actually have an AOE that actually induce attack down by 28%. So I would say previously I've said that I would rather have 30%, but 20%. But AOE is actually pretty acceptable because you can actually hit more than one unit with the AOE, and the damage is not that shabby, to be honest. It's 2-8. Usually I would rather have 3-4, but come on, it's a tank, so not that shabby for the tank. But the problem with the Quin Mantha is its base attack is pretty low, so that's that. The thing about this unit is you have to remember that it doesn't actually have the psycho pressure. So, but on the other side, all four of its moves is actually hitting you quite hard. For example, even the beam saber is like 4-2, and then you can go with the diffuse particle mega cannon, which actually 4-8, pretty strong for this kind of unit. And the last one is this funnel with 4-4 and mobility down. So here's the problem with mobility down, that after 3 seasons I do find that lesser mobility doesn't always mean bad, because if you are trying to counterattack your opponent, lesser mobility might actually help you a lot, to be honest. So yeah, that's the problem with the mobility down. I'm not really fan of this unit's mobility down. I would rather use the diffusal particle cannon to actually deal damage. And yeah, but diffuse particles, but the problem is that diffuse particles only have 3 range, and also these ones have 5. So yeah, you would rather, I mean, if you're out of range, you would rather use the funnel. But if you can, use the diffuse particle mega cannon more. But again, depends on what your aim is, because its attack down is based on only one ability here, which is diffuse mega particle cannon. So if we go back to the tags of this unit, is go with the large machine, Psychomu, Neozeon, and lightning fast. So it's not actually new type machine, is more towards the Psychomu. And then finally it's also like a lightning fast tank. As I said, discussed before, Lightning Fast has some of the few quite good defense free unit, and that is going to be Destiny, Zac, and Zaku 3 custom. Compared to them, Quin Mantha actually has its own niche where it can actually block huge damage from the um, particle beam, like range beam. And you can see the stats itself. It's like this 111, 110 and attack this much. You compare it to Quin Mantha. Quin Mantha, without the buff, is actually having more HP than Zaku 3. And it has also almost similar defense, or it's higher. It's funnily enough, it has lower defense, but it has better beam resistance, right? It has lower attack as well. So the thing is, like, this is quite funny between the two, because one of them is like has a HP increase, but it has less HP than Quin Mantha, and when Quin Mantha has a defense increase, but actually still have lower defense than the Zaku 3. So compared to the other two, Quin Mantha is a bit limited because of the AOE stuff. But if you want to just like face tank thing, you just want to block tanks, I do think it is a better block tank than Zaku 3, even to Destiny, especially if the opponent is a beam range weapon. So there is that. So between the three, depends on the condition. You might actually want to go with Quin Mantha, especially if you like the unit. But I do think that is where it excels is actually blocking attacks. While both Zaku and Destiny has an option to be a bit more aggressive and offensive, Quin Mantha will want to be on the back seat. Okay. So yeah, that is what I think about Quin Mantha. Let me know what you think in the comment below. Do you think it's actually better than Zaku 3, or actually you think Zaku 3 Phantom is better? As my bias, okay? So yeah, let me know what you think. Leave a comment, like and subscribe, and see you next time. Bye bye.